Good morning, dear friends. I'm going to get straight into the drawing. Tell me if this is laggy like it has been the last few days. We're going to do a 10-minute portrait sketch of the wonderful, inspiring Bob Marley, who we also sketched last year. And I really liked the one I did last year, but I couldn't find my sketchbook right now. Otherwise, I would have showed you. But that I think was maybe a longer piece. Let's do 10 minutes with Bob Marley together. Oh, it's laggy, so I'm going to turn my face off and get to drawing. So it's better. So let's do it. Okay, there were a few quotes. I would love you to tell me in the chat what's your favorite Bob Marley song. Someone just a couple of days ago suggested that we draw Bob again. So here we are. Let's start drawing. And I wanted to read a couple of quotes, but maybe I'll just get to sketching and then get into the quotes later on. How is everyone? So yeah, it's still laggy. I deleted OBS and reinstalled it, thinking perhaps that would be the solution, as I had read on some forum may help, and has in the past, but it didn't. But when I reinstalled it, I saw that my presets were still maintained, so I guess it wasn't a absolute and complete reinstall. But anyway, here we are, sketching together. Thank you for joining me on this Friday, the 27th. So I was just wondering, this question of what's your favorite Bob Marley song? I've just been listening to the song War, and it is really good. And it's interesting because I remember my awareness of Bob Marley growing up was One Love and very, very loving, chilled, which he was and is, I guess. And the message that comes through, but also very, very aware and very critical of the warmongering powers that be in the world we reside in and share together. And I think it's really inspiring and wonderful, the mix of these worlds, because it's all intertwined and interwoven. The one love, the community vibe, and also being aware of what's going on in the world. And also maybe part of my privilege and my naivety growing up so far away. It felt like Australia. Now I live in Germany and Central Europe, which has been and is potentially a problematic government. Let's not call it the country and the people, because that was also something, this great quote, which this photo taken from the Bob Marley account was very relevant, which I'll read in a minute. The lagging make it look like stop motion animation, which reminds you of good times. Good. That's a wonderful way to frame the technological challenges, the lagging. This is a stop motion portrait of Bob Marley. And this also, coincidentally, or perhaps it's just meant to be, coincides with I'm recording a tutorial today about hair, drawing hair, how we draw hair. And though it wasn't what I had in mind, this is because I've been collecting references, looking at stuff, and this is also wonderful hair. And the idea of looking at big shapes, as I have drawn here, and then if and when time permits to focus on the smaller shapes. That's basically the essence of what my hair tutorial is going to be. So that's cool. At the halftime mark, I'll read those quotes I wanted to read. So there's something to look at. This laggy stream. Yeah, so I was going to say, at the same time where I associated I guess I hadn't heard enough and hadn't learnt enough and lived. But when I was focused on that, the unity, one love facet of Bob Marley's music. And I also felt like Australia felt like so far away from history, from the world, from the rest of the world. For me, just felt like growing up. It was this island far away, not really a world player. Didn't feel like, apart from being, part of the Commonwealth and involved in wars through that, like, I don't know, didn't really feel like war was part of my and our awareness growing up in Australia. And which is very different in Germany, where I now live, where everyone, rightly so, is very aware of the history. But that's something I'm thinking about. It's like confusing right now to me that there's, or perhaps, that there's so much seems like there's so much war has been going on, and that it's not like slowing down, and that it seems to be intensifying and spreading, and that the lyrics of the song War are very, very, very relevant right now. And we've reached the halfway mark, so maybe I'll just read a little bit to you. No Woman, No Cry. Thank you. Such a beautiful song. So everybody, let me know your favourite Bob Marley songs. So I'm going to read just the first verse. Until the philosophy which hold one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, everywhere is war. Me say war. So that's the starting lines of this song. And on the Instagram post was a quote from Bob saying, "It's the people that have to change the earth, not the presidents or whatever you want to call them. The people who have to change this thing, because it's the people that put them in power, right? So the people have to make decisions for themselves." That's the message to accompany this portrait today. Thank you, Bob. Am I going to dilute the lines? Good question. This is a water-soluble pencil. But this paper is very, very thin, so I don't think I will. But let us proceed with the second 5 minutes of this 10-minute portrait. I have been missing my sturdy, wettable paper for these streams, and it's something I've thought about the last weeks. Like, I'd love to just get in there with some water, with some ink, to fill in some of these big, amazing shapes. But this paper is so thin. I don't think I can do it. You see that? You get a sense for the almost insubstantial dimensions of this paper. So no, I'm not going to put water in it. But in lieu of water, let's use the blending stump, which is a great way to push some pigment around. What's going on this weekend? What are people up to? Oh yeah, by the way, Saturday is going to be the last Saturday of the month. So for my Let's Face It friends, we'll be sketching together in Zoom. And all the information for that is on the Let's Face It Facebook group. I created an event for it, and I believe an email will be going out with the link again. And there is now a recurring live Zoom link for Let's Face It events, which is a new and exciting development. So it won't be the same link as last time if you joined me, or have done in the past. It's a new link, which all up is a great thing. So I hope some of you will be joining me there. There is so much to work on this portrait in 10 minutes, but it's good. It's good to have these time frames and this challenge to be like, what can be done? And I would really like, I'm so excited about the hair. I'm talking about hair. And I see I've only got 2 minutes left. But if you're really curious what I have to say about hair, then join my Patreon because we'll see. Hopefully this weekend. Maybe by the end of the day, I could have the tutorial wrapped up, edited, and ready for the weekend. But that's what's in store. Many people have requested hair as a topic, how to look at, how to draw, how to think about hair. So with the minute and a half that's left, let's just say we've got, so as I put down here, really big shape. This is an Inktense pencil, correct. And it is water soluble Lewis. And it is just a beautiful color. So it has the potential to get wet. But the paper, I'm concerned about the paper. And so yeah, the hair, I've got like this big shape, and then within that big shape, what other shapes do I have? Rather than getting carried away with individual strands of hair or individual locks at first, I just want to try and be aware of big shapes. And then once I've kind of feel like I've got that figured out, then I can look at what are the different subtle variations within that those main groupings of shapes. And I guess that's pretty much the essence of the whole tutorial I'm going to make. And I feel like it's a way to see and understand things which are incredibly complex. Like, how do you break it down at first into understandable shapes? And once you've done that, simplified, then you can expand upon that and you can get into the details and the variation. And but at first, whenever you see something where you're like, how am I even going to draw that? Then you got to take steps to figure out how you're going to. How can you reduce an incredibly complex thing into something that is digestible and understandable? And that is good for drawing and a good life lesson too. Also fits in with the big kind of themes that Bob Marley is addressing as well. And that quote about the people, we've got to do what we see as right and helpful in whatever capacity we can. And that varies for different people and different life situations. But if you take it a bit at a time, it may seem big and overwhelming at first, but once we're able to sort out the pieces, or at least part of it, just have something to respond to, something to start with, then we have something to keep moving with and learn our way. And sometimes it's, we don't do the right thing. We put it somewhere or we do something and it's like, oh, wait a minute, that didn't work out. So then you can kind of pivot and figure out how to adjust along the way. So that's it. Drawing and life lessons. Rachel's here for it. Thank you, Rachel. And that was the 10 minutes. So I wish you all a restful, powerful weekend, whatever you need, whatever it is to be, then that, I hope that is what it is for you. Have a great weekend. Thank you for drawing along with me. Put your drawing hand emoji in the chat. And I would love you to share on the Discord server where I'm sharing the references. You can also share and tag me on Instagram. I'll put the Discord server link in the chat. There we go. And Lewis just said, it is always a little trauma to know how to use the direction of lines to shade. Sometimes they become chaotic and don't look so pretty. It happens to me a lot and I have to think too much. Yeah. Thank you, Sabra. Thank you, Leah. I'm glad you had so much fun. Gern geschehen, Cindy. Yeah, everyone who was here, if you have not yet said hello, please do. Hi Ingrid, hi Kitty. Please say hello in the live chat. Put your drawing hand or popcorn in there. And if you're watching the replay, also please comment and let us know that you've been drawing, sharing this time together. And I look forward to Saturday night for the Let's Face It group. And otherwise, next week. We'll be back to it next week with more 10-minute portraits at 10. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, Bob. I'm going to go listen.